Well, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for covering the game. It's unacceptable. Falls on me, and we will get it fixed. I'll try to answer your questions.
Greg, why wasn't the team prepared to play today?
I wish I knew that, Steve. I know that's my job to know that, but I can't ignore that we weren't ready to play. So that'll be my mission in the next 48 hours is to figure that out. Change what needs to be changed. Don't overreact. Some days you throw a clunker. This was a clunker. I don't want to overreact, but I do certainly have to, look at everything. And you can go into all the reasons, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. You can't have that.
You have a lot of injuries, had some today. How much has that impacted everything that's going on?
Certainly it's impacted everything. I mean, it's not where we have stacked up guys yet in the program. So when we lose somebody's got to step up. But are they, the old thing that you learn is every once in a while somebody by injury comes out and just amazes everyone. But the reality is usually they would have been the starter, and they weren't. They were the second team player for a reason. But you can't hide behind that. Everybody has injuries. That team had injuries. We all have injuries. You gotta figure it out. That's my job.
What do you attribute the offensive struggles to?
I can't hear you.
Sorry, what do you attribute the offensive struggles to?
Well, I don't think it's just offensive struggles. I would attribute all our struggles. I mean, what do you attribute everything to? I don't know. That's what I told you. I'm not moving on to UCLA and all that stuff. I'm gonna look at Rutgers, figure out what, as a leader of this program, what I need to do, and then talk with my staff, and we'll set out to do it. I know we have really good young men in our program, and they will respond. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Injuries aside, what do you feel like is attributed to just the kind of the slow starts on defense? It's kind of putting you in early deficit that you're just kind of constantly having to climb out of.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was a slow start. It was a slow start, it was a slow middle, and it was a slow end. So like I have to really examine what we're doing, who's doing it, how we're doing it. I thought we played better defensively a week ago, and then certainly not today. So some different people doing it, but that's the way of life in the Big Ten.
Coach, just to circle back to the injuries pre-game, Tyrone Powell and Robert Longerbeam were out. What are their injuries, and what's going on with those two guys?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into their injuries per se, but I will say that Tyrone got hurt in practice this week, and Robert tried to go last week and couldn't, and it's the same injury, and we just got to let it heal. And I don't know the timeline on either one of them, and I don't, I'm sure you're going to ask about the guys who left the game today. I just don't know yet what's going on with them, and we'll figure that out, and I'm sure that'll have bearing on what we do moving forward.
Coach, Ethan had a tough day today. Offense had a tough day today. What can you and the coaching staff do to try to get him back on track and the offense back on track?
Well, just as I was saying, we have to examine everything, see what we're doing, who we're doing it with, how we're doing it, how we're teaching it. He didn't go from being a good player to a poor player. We got to look at where we got off. Sometimes you get off the track and you don't even realize how you got there. So we got to step back and reassess. You don't have a lot of time. So good thing it was a noon game. We have some time today, a lot of time tomorrow, and then we got to get into UCLA. So we'll do.
Coach, Wisconsin rushed for 309 yards, and Walker had 198 yards. What do you think went wrong with the run defense today?
Yeah, like I said, I don't think that there's a single thing that went wrong with the run defense. I think there's a lot of things, and we gotta pull it apart and then put it back together again.
Coach, you mentioned it wasn't just the offense, defense as well. It was just overall uncharacteristic game from you guys. Numerous drops, penalties, things of that nature. While Wisco is a great team, do you believe it was an aspect that you guys kind of beat yourselves there?
Well, I don't think you could say that when you get whooped the way we did. They say we beat ourselves. I think we certainly, again, I can go through all the things we didn't do. At the end of the day, it's my job to make sure we're ready to do that, and we didn't do it. So that's what I have to do. And trust me, I'm not fired up about doing it, but that's my job. So get done here, see the recruits, and then get to work.
On the recruiting front, a lot of recruits at this game. What is your message to them after what they saw this afternoon in the future?
Yeah, always the same. I'm honest with the recruits. That's one of the reasons that the guys that are committed to us, or that's the kind of young men they are, that they want to be part of what we're building here. I don't think one game changes what they believe and feel and trust in us. If it does, then they're probably not the guy we think they are, right? But I don't think that's going to be the case. We have really good guys in this program, and we have really good guys that are committed to us. We'll just keep plowing ahead.
Greg, 2 weeks ago, we talked about how electric the fan environment was in this building. Today, there were boos. What do you want to say to those fans?
Well, the same thing I said to you. It's unacceptable on my part, and it's unacceptable, the product that we put out there today. But we will be back. We need them, and we will be back.
You said a year ago after losing to Wisconsin that the team was not there yet. To suffer a loss like this a year later, in year 5 for you, does that make it even worse in some ways, that it seems like the team took a step back?
No. I mean, did the team take a step back? The whole day we couldn't chew gum and walk at the same time as a group, right? We just couldn't get it going. Coaching, playing, everything. But step back, no. I'm not ready to sit here in one game and say, oh, we're the sky is falling. You know what? We got work to do, and we'll do it, and we'll get back on track. And I think that's going to be the challenge, to just get back on it, decide what it is that has to get adjusted, and then go adjust it. Thank you, guys.